Delco. What is Delco? Urban Dictionary, maybe the best definition of any place in the history of any place. Delco is the nickname for Delaware County. Not just a place to live, it's a way of life. Delco isn't something you obtain with a short visit while you're passing through. Never has been, or don't actually live here, you just won't understand. Delco is something you can spot across the bar while out of town. Speaking of bars, there's 42-to-1 ratio when it comes to bars to libraries. Delco people love being from Delco. I don't know if there's anything special from Delco, except being a Delco guy, I kind of like it.
What is up, Delaware County? Welcome back for another high school baseball preview episode. You're not seeing double. We got two Heck brothers here. We got Brian Heck, Brendan O'Gara, Justin Heck. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Appreciate you guys taking the time to come in. Before we get into the baseball stuff, I do want to ask, do you guys believe twin telepathy is real?
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Well, I'm also a twin.
Are you actually? Does he play baseball too?
No, he doesn't play baseball, but he does crew.
Are you identical as well?
No, we're not.
Oh,
identical.
that's not.
Yeah, but I don't think it's real either.
Yeah.
We'll ask the Havertine soon. Brendan, are you more excited to play this upcoming season or be a Delco Baseball Now intern?
Probably play this upcoming season. I love playing with my guys.
Well, we appreciate your help with all the college baseball stuff with all like 200 people we have on that list. But all right, well, before we get into the 2026 season, I'd love to kind of just take you guys back to last year, just hear kind of your overall thoughts on how the year went, just the good and the bad from last year.
Yeah, last year was obviously a pretty good year. You know, nobody really expected us to be where we were. Like, I know you guys didn't have us in early.
We did not. Hand up. We did not.
Yeah, we kind of like took that as some disrespect, but like we had some big wins early on in the season against like Garnet Valley, Conestoga. We did run into some like a rough patch at the end against like Ridley, and but we did end up getting a playoff win. It was really nice. So
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Just like we knew what we had, and we were just going out there and just playing our brand of baseball, and it ended up working out. We won a lot of games, won a playoff game. Yeah, I think it was a pretty positive season all around.
I think they both summed it up pretty well. Great season.
Yeah, I mean, hand up, because you guys lost like 4 pitchers from the year before, right?
yeah.
Like, I think Van, Isaiah,
Jack.
and Jack Schultz. Yeah, so it was more. We just really had no idea like what we were walking into. But like you said, you guys won that playoff game versus Stoga, which was like the rubber match, right? You guys split in the regular season.
Yeah,
I think one of them was the game of the week. So how valuable was it, obviously, winning that playoff game and then also going up against such a good pitcher in the second round, just to have that experience for a team that's returning, I wouldn't say virtually everybody, but a large majority of the team.
Yeah, it's obviously like it's nice getting like a taste of what it feels like to be like playing the top teams like out of league, because like it's very different. Like at Pennsbury, their pitcher was throwing like 93. So
Yeah, I think it was good. It was a good experience. It like just assured that we knew like what we were capable of, and we got a lot of guys coming back, and we don't see a reason why we can't do that again or even better. And just I think it was a good overall experience.
Yeah, it was nice playing a familiar opponent in Stoga. We already played them twice up to that point, and I felt like they beat us last time we were going to win that game, and we ended up pretty much dominating them.
You shut the burners up. After that, shout out Ryan Schultz for taking it. We know the burners will be back next year for sure. But all right, well, switching over to 2026 here, how have kind of the off-season practices been? I don't know. Are you guys in the tryout process like right now?
Yeah, we just finished them up.
Yeah, so like how do you kind of see, just from the off-season practice to tryouts, just the team kind of taking shape?
Our team, like we're returning a lot of players. Like a lot. Our pitching staff's pretty much the exact same. Some guys like Charlie Lovett. Do you know him?
Not yet.
He's a sophomore. He's very good. Obviously Charlie Parsons, Nick Draggett. Like we hope to like not just win a playoff game, but like have some success beyond the first round this season.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about like the group of guys we got. Like in the winter, like we're only get together like twice a week, but we know a lot of our guys are doing stuff outside of those practices and working hard, and a couple of guys want to play in college, and so like there's no doubt that they're not putting in the work, and we're just ready to put it all together and get out there this season. Really.
Yeah, we got a great squad coming in this year. We got basically our whole pitching staff, and then plus some new guys. Charlie Lovett, Alex Heinzel, if you've heard of him.
He was on one of the Narberth
Yeah.
teams, right?
State.
Yeah, he's a freshman, right?
Freshman
Yeah, he's-
stud.
Yeah.
He's
big.
huge.
So it seems
and then our lineup, we lost about 4, 5 starters, but we got guys ready to come in and fill that role.
yeah, obviously you got to replace, Gus Wright, Brody Slensky, Toby Meyer. So who should we kind of expect to be some of the bats to, just make this new offensive core?
Quinn, he's our new shortstop. He's a switch hitter. You should
Ooh,
expect a
switch
lot.
hitter.
Yeah, it's nice. And then Peyton Spiegler, his brother was a senior when I was
I remember
sophomore,
Justin, yeah.
And then
Catchers.
Leo
Leo
Offberg,
Leo and
James
James
Gibbon.
Gibbon. Leo Offberg, James
Yeah.
Gibbon.
Leo bet me something before your game last year that he would get a hit. I forget what it was.
Yeah, he likes to talk. He likes
I don't. Yeah, he's just like I'm calling it right now. I don't think he did, but
confident kid.
yeah. I assume he's probably related to Jack, right? I think Jack.
I think so.
Dixon
Yeah,
Herod.
his
Yeah,
cousins.
yeah.
His cousins are like 80 kids, I think.
So I don't know. Are you guys officially captains? Do you guys do captains?
I don't think we figured that out yet.
Yeah.
Either way, how do you guys feel about having maybe more of a vocal leadership role if you didn't throughout last year?
Like Gus and Brody were really like the 2 big leaders last year. I think this year it'll be like us really. I'll try, like me and Justin will probably lead this pitching staff. He'll like deal with the position players and stuff.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I mean, we all get along really. Like, we're pretty focused during practice. Like, we have our fun, but like we all get along. We do the right things most of the time. So I don't really think it's a big we have to worry too much about keeping our guys in line. Like, they do the right things.
Yeah, I feel like we're all one as a team. We've all known and been playing with each other for 3 years, and we're just ready to do it this year.
So you guys mentioned that all of you kind of had the choice to go to Lower Merion. Were sports any part of that decision, or was it more just whatever was closer? Like, we could start this way and go around, so you get a first answer.
Me and Brian, we live like half a mile from Lower Merion. We walk to school, or at least we did, and now we got a parking spot. But also, in the past, I played basketball, and I wanted to play basketball at LM, so they had a better program, but that's kind of why. And then also baseball. I growing up, they talked a lot about Harridan being the baseball school, but when going to LM, I wanted to change that kind of.
Yeah, like we were talking about before we recorded, like we played Harridan in the playoffs, and we faced Kahanowitz, we faced this one guy, Jonah Frankel, and I think they won at least a split of the Central League that year. But same thing, obviously, you live the same place, but same thing for you. Is it more just
Yeah.
location?
Yeah, I mean, my parents, I had an older brother, and my parents always told me I was going to LM. I went to Welsh Valley, which is like kind of far where all the kids go to Harridan, but I live in Ardmore, which is like a 20-minute walk to LM. So I was usually walking to school. So they kind of always told me I was going to LM, but I was definitely excited to, for the baseball program here and just like playing with these guys. I've been playing them for a while now. And a lot of the guys I just played Little League and district team and travel ball growing up with were going to LM. And so, yeah, it's a mixture of both.
So how intense are those games with Harridan, where, again, you probably grew up playing with a lot of those guys, whether they're on your team or against them? You probably played you guys played Narberth Legion, right?
Yeah,
you guys both did this summer. Did you play on that team this summer too? Yeah.
I mean, lately they honestly haven't been that intense because I don't know. They're always fun games because we're playing our childhood friends, but like I think they were a little more intense like before we were playing because it was usually closer games. But
Yeah, last year we won 14-1 or something.
Yeah.
So
Toby hit 2 bombs.
Oh yeah, was it at? Oh, I guess you guys don't have a fence. Are we getting a fence at South Ardmore soon? It's probably not even your choice. It's probably the parks, right? Yeah. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about post high school. Brennan, you're heading to the College of New Jersey. What was your recruiting process like? Kind of what was some of your deciding factors?
It was a long process. It was kind of stressful playing all summer, like really every weekend. Like didn't have many weekends off. And then I remember I was sitting with my dad at the end of the summer, and there was a TCNJ camp that popped up, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like I didn't really look too much in school, but I was just gassed from baseball. Like I played so much, I was exhausted, and some of the camps out there are just waste of time, like it's just a money grab, or just they're not even looking at you. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Decided to do it last minute. Literally the last event I played in all summer. Like I was talking to a couple schools before that, but the last event I played in all summer, and it was a rainy day, and we didn't even know if we were gonna get outside. And we ended up getting outside, and they're throwing live at bats, and I walked my first at bat. I was like, I'm really about to get walked. Like all these at bats, can't even show anything. And then first pitch next at bat, I hit a home run. And then the first pitch next at bat, I hit another home run. And like the coach were talking to me. And then the next day, the coach called me and offered me a spot. And I was able to go on a like official visit like a week later with my mom. And like it just everything like worked out. Like it's close to home. It's only like 50, 55 minutes away. It's a great program. They've got what I want to study, and like yeah, everything just really worked out, and it ended up being like the perfect school for me. And
Where in Jersey is it?
it's in Ewing, New Jersey. It's near Trenton.
Okay,
It's kind of near Princeton too, but
got it.
near Trenton.
My brother's at grad school at Princeton right
Oh,
now.
really?
So Brian and Justin still uncommitted as far as I know. Is baseball potentially part of the plan, or are you guys just thinking school
We're
specifically?
just thinking school specifically. I'm thinking between Penn State or Maryland.
Same. Are you guys a package deal?
No, we're not. I'm actually thinking about going to Auburn. It's probably
yeah.
my number one right now. In the summer, we obviously we played showcases with Uncommon. Got a few offers, but I just thought it'd be better to go to the big school and get a good college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to recruit you to Penn State Club Baseball because that's what I do here. But if you have the, a lot of people will go to school, not play freshman year club, and then they're like, I just miss playing baseball. Right. So obviously a lot of local guys. So I have to give my pitch. Of course, that's how I stay connected. But what are you kind of looking at in terms of just school wise? Like
just like a bigger school, like Penn State, and
no arguments here.
Yeah.
So looking around the Central League, who are you guys kind of like viewing as some of the top contenders, just around the league as a whole?
I'd say Haverford, Radnor. They're probably at the top. They got crazy pitching staffs, multiple guys throwing 90. Then there's Garnet. They always have a good lineup. And then Marple, Pencrest, Strathaven. They're all always solid.
We need Central League playoffs back.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
I guess not even back, just in general.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I've heard. I think there's like some different factors. It might not be for a couple years, but hopefully last year just kind of showed like, hey, like even if
it kind of sucked last year.
yeah, like at the very least, if two teams tie, let them play it out.
Would it be on like a neutral site?
I think that. I mean, I would personally, if it was up to me, I'd have it under the lights at Marple, just so more people could go.
Yeah.
I think it's the only field with lights. Other than that, you'd probably, if you wanted lights, it would have to be MSI or I don't even know if any of the other.
Will Garnet's new field have lights?
I don't think it. As far as I know, I don't think it does. Put it at Dermont if you want it to be like 20-19 here. All right, last question for you guys before we welcome in Coach Quinn. What do you kind of have to say about just what it's like playing for him, kind of the culture that he's built here at Lower Merion?
Yeah, at practice we're really competitive. He also like tries to emphasize like being nice to each other. Just like we have a lot of fun. Obviously, you see like the chirping bench shenanigans, but
Hooting and hollering.
he like tries to emphasize like having fun and stuff like that.
Yeah. One thing I think that stood out to me is like how organized he is. Like you could go on our weekly plan, and he's got every practice, every game, every event, SATs, like every like out of important like event planned all the way until like mid-June. And like he's just really good at staying on top of that stuff. And like you said, like our practices are good. Like we're getting better throughout the year and having fun at the same time. And I mean, we've won more games than we have in the past. So like we're winning and having fun and just having a good time all around.
Yeah, last year we didn't have really high expectations, but he made sure that we're going to be back to where we were my sophomore year of playoffs and get past where we were with that team.
Would it help if we had you lower in the rankings, like for bulletin board
Keep us
material?
on
What do you
the
think?
rankings.
Just keep them down. Keep them down. All right, boys. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Wish you the best of luck. I'm sure we'll get out to a game of the week at some point this year, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we are also joined by Lower Merion head coach Colin Quinn. First time on the show, but how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, appreciate you coming in. Well, I see you out umping on the MSBL field this summer again.
We'll see what my assigners give me.
Okay, well, make sure that strike zone's small when I'm up to play.
Small at the plate. Got it.
Absolutely. So how long have you been the head coach for this Lower Merion team?
This is my 5th year at the varsity helm. I was a freshman coach for 2 years prior to that.
So how did you get kind of connected with the school?
So I teach in the district. I started at Welsh Valley, taught science, social studies, and language arts. And I've since moved into a computer science role. I teach at Black Rock Middle School in Villanova, which is great because I get to see a lot of the students who have choice between Lower Merion and Harridan. It's actually been a really interesting development of watching these kids like make that tough decision between, do I want to go to LM where the sports are a little stronger? Or do I want to go to Harridan where some of my friends have to go? And that middle school decision is really hard for those kids. So I really love what I'm doing, teaching and being in the district. It's a great area.
So who else will be joining you on the staff for this year? Any new additions, just returning crew?
My varsity assistant coach, Brandon Musselman, is back at the helm with me. We're like a 50-50 partnership. It's great having essentially 2 head coaches. Obviously all the blame comes to me at the end of the day, but he's right there with me with everything. Our freshman coach, Tom Mann, is up at JV this year, and replacing him at the freshman level is Kevin Garton. He works in the building. Really excited to have someone who works at LM on our coaching staff, so kids have kind of a touch point throughout the day if they need it.
So how difficult is it just you two on the varsity level? So do you have like one of them coach first, or does Brandon coach first, or how do you guys usually do it?
So Brandon runs the offense. He coaches third. I go to first. We found it important to have adults on the base paths. In the dugout, that means there's a lot of discipline on the end of our batters, right? We had our first meeting of the year today, and we talked about, what do you do on deck, right? Like, are you timing up the pitcher? Are you looking for tendencies? What is your role as an on-deck hitter? What is your role as a bench player? Making sure you're staying engaged. And I think, the kids are such a great group that they can handle themselves. They're really prepared and they know what the expectation is. We hold our kids to a high standard. And I think at the end of the day, they really do a great job meeting those standards. We talk about raising the bar every year and getting a little bit better. And I think that they continue to rise to what we're asking of them. But we put a lot on the kids and we trust them, right? I think that's a huge piece is as a 2-man staff, you can't do it all. So like trusting catchers to call pitches, trusting, shortstops to call pickoffs and making sure that we've got everything kind of open to the kids and their strengths and letting them run the game a little bit as they know how. And we're just there to kind of facilitate.
All right. Well, before we talk about this season, kind of wanted to, like I did with your boys, just talk a little bit about last season. Obviously, you guys won a playoff game, very successful year. Give me your overall thoughts on just how the team played, how they faced adversity, just, whatever you got.
I think for me, watching these guys, they met the expectations that Brandon and I had. And I think they didn't have the expectations of themselves. When we had postseason meetings with them, like a lot of them were like, I didn't expect to throw that well, or like I didn't expect to dominate the way I dominated. And I think Brandon and I knew that they had it in them, but ultimately we gotta instill that faith and that confidence in our players too. And I think just trying to pump them up, be positive, and really celebrate the victories and the small things that we do right leads to that larger success. That it's a tough league, the Central League, and the biggest deals for us is just it's one game at a time, right? And you might have a really big win, but you got to come the next day and play hard, and you can't fall off. And so I think staying consistent, staying humble, and staying hungry the whole way is really what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about, you guys had to replace your top 4 pitchers from the year before. So what do you just have to say about how Brian and Justin and Will and Peyton and all these guys just kind of didn't try and replace them, just tried to kind of, be themselves and go out there and perform?
Yeah, I think, having 2 lefties, that's a huge deal to throw, really nasty stuff and know how to hold runners and control the run game a little bit. I think when you have that level of baseball IQ, it helps, right? You can have a guy who throws really hard, but doesn't know how to, control the game. That's not going to be as advantageous as what we have. I really love the staff and what they do. I think when you look at guys, we got different strengths, right? Like Brian's got a little more velo than Justin, but then you're Charlie Lovett, who's a righty with some velo, and Will Cohen is working his way into the rotation. Charlie Lovett was a stud last year. I'm ready for him to step up and increase his role. He really broke out in that Harridan game last year. We were able to pull Brian out early and save him for Haverford later in the week. But I think having Charlie Lovett there and being able to do varsity level pitching as a freshman and really dominate was awesome to see. So we got a lot of confidence, right? It's nice having these two senior arms, and I'll have to think about the replacements later. I have ideas for who's coming up the pipe, right? Some of our young guys, they mentioned Alex Heinzel, John Hitz in the wings. You really got a lot of studs through there. Jake Brocious is another lefty. So to me, like the pitching staff that we have is great. I'm looking for Peyton Spiegler to step up a little bit this year and kind of fill some of the innings that we had from the Gus Wright and things like that. I'm like, we got all our pitching back, but like Gus was there for the end of that Haverford win, right? And like we used guys throughout. So we're excited for the staff. They really know how to control the game. They know how to think, how to hold, and really can call their own game, right? And that takes a load off of me as a coach to be able to focus on other things.
So from the offensive side of the ball, a little bit more to replace. No Gus, no Brody, no Toby. Who do you kind of expect to step up? I know Charlie kind of got hot at the end of last year when you guys maybe weren't. I think we talked about it I think before the game of the week with Stoga, and you kind of told him like that his role might be limited, and he just kept working and earned his way. So who do you kind of see maybe filling those roles and kind of doing what he did last year?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of talent there, and I think for us, it's just who's going to be able to step up and fill the role, right? I'm very much a believer in ride the hot bat, right? Toby went to go play D2 college in Texas. He sat for like 5 games in the middle of the season because he just wasn't doing what we needed. And then when the replacement didn't, fill the job, he earned his way back into it and had playoff home runs, right? Like, I think for us, it's who's going to step up and do the right thing. Aiden O'Quinn at shortstop, right? That's something we're looking for. He was going to be our starting third baseman last year before he got sick, before the season started. He was out the entire season with an illness. And so we're really excited to see how he can do in a varsity season. We got a couple other guys out there. Peyton Spiegler's played on the varsity team, both freshman and sophomore year. So in limited roles this year, he should be a full-timer, kind of really getting a lot of work. Nick Draggett, Charlie Parsons, right? I think the 2 catchers, right? We got 2 sophomore catchers and James Gibbon and Leo Uffberg. Like that's a real wild card for us. They're competing. There might be a split between the 2 of them. There might be a DH role in there. Like we're really excited for the 2 of them to kind of step up and come through and support the offense as well. So I think we have guys in mind, and it's just a matter of who's going to rise to the top.
That could be nice if they keep each other fresh throughout the season,
Yes.
So what was I going to say? Oh, we were talking about last year you guys played your playoff game at Harridan. How much credit do you take for Toby's two home runs in that game, I believe? Because
at least one. Two in the Harridan game during the season.
Okay, that's what it was.
1 in the playoff
Gotcha.
game. I think the decision to go to Harridan was, 1, we have a pitcher who we think can handle anybody, and 2, like there's a fence and we got power. So like you don't have that at South Ardmore. I think it was Charlie Belli who hit an absolute nuke at South Ardmore a couple years ago, and Charlie Parsons in left field was probably playing at 400 feet and ended up catching. It was bases loaded, 2 outs. Like we're not winning that game if there's a fence there because that ball's gone, right? So understanding kind of our strengths. But I think like we went to the kids and we said, where do you want to play this game? Here's the argument for Harridan, right? And they were kind of like, Harridan, right? Like that's the spot that makes sense for what we've got, what our strengths are. So I think, and that just goes to, how much we trust the kids. Like, hey, what do you want to do, right? Where do you want to be? How do you want to run this? Like, it's your team. We as coaches are here to support what we want to do. We have a vision, but like you guys ultimately fulfill it.
Mm-hmm. So the last 3 years, you guys made the playoffs all 3 years, beat Neshaminy in 2023, and then beat Stoga last year. So how do you guys kind of get over that hump, win that second playoff game, which I think either gets you into states or gets you into playbacks, maybe, if you get into that Elite Eight, I believe?
Yeah. So the program's never made the states, right? We have a whole history document of statistics, records, all that. And for us to get there, it really is being consistent, right? You have to play consistently throughout and coach consistently throughout as well, right? Never too high, never too low, and trusting our guys. For me, right, I look at the team from 2 years ago that had Van Wilner, right? That we went out and we got our butts handed to us by Westchester, Ruston, I think. Was it
Henderson?
No,
Henderson,
It was
yeah.
right. It was Henderson, and that year was the Sardmore Magic year, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 walk-offs, 3 walk-offs at home. Every game you were in it, right? And you had that faith and that belief. And I think it just kind of crumbled at the end. Looking for us to stay throughout the whole season, right? We have historically looked at the end of the season decline, right? We had a couple of games at the end of last year that didn't go our way. And how do you make sure that doesn't happen? And it is just staying fresh, right? They talk about practice and how do you set practice to keep the intent and the focus on having fun, but also being locked in on what we want to do and what we're trying to accomplish. Our goal is always to make it to states, right? And so, having the 2 pitchers that we have as a 1-2 punch is awesome. The easiest way is to get the bye, right? If you can win 12 games, maybe it takes 13, you get that bye, that's a huge deal. In the Central League, though, like the boys said, Haverford twice, right? You got Strathaven, always tough. Garnet twice. Radnor once, right? That's 6 games right there. Even if you split, you can only lose 1 more. And so we're always looking to 1 game at a time. But I think that understanding how difficult the league is, really matching up the pitching properly, saving these guys' arms for the distance, not overusing them early, and making sure that when we get down to mid to late May, we're full go, we're 100% healthy and ready to put the best product on the field there.
I forget what seed you guys were, but it was pretty close to 8, right?
We ended up 12,
Yeah,
I believe.
I knew it was somewhere around there. So in that the history of Lower Merion baseball, are there any Central League championships?
There's one.
There's
2005.
Okay.
It was the last time they'd won a playoff game before we won 3 years ago. They were 18-1 or something. They won the first round playoff game, lost the second round or something like that. So it's been a while since there's been success. I think, the talk has historically been baseball go to Harridan. And I feel very strongly that the culture that we've developed, we bring in middle schoolers in the winter and do middle school workouts, just kind of get them acclimated to what we do as a program, who we are. Youth clinics in the community. These guys volunteer a ton. One of my kids volunteered 52 hours this off season. James Given, sophomore catcher. The kid is at everything, right? But all these guys donate their time, get in front of the youth in the community, and that really helps to build our program up and really excites the community at large. Those little kids love seeing the big guys. They're looking up with stars in their eyes, and it's just really cool to see that growth, and it brings leadership and character from our guys. They don't have to volunteer, but they do it, and I think it makes a big difference in our community and what our program's about.
Yeah, they remember when they were those kids, and they loved seeing the kids come out for sure. All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I wish you guys the best of luck. I know it's going to be a good season. I'm sure we'll see you out for a game of the week this time.
Awesome. Really appreciate you having us. Thank you.
Yep, thanks.